Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. We are from group 6. We will present about assignment 1. Our group member is me, Aisha, Tira, Faina, Mala and Hani.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Norhani. My metric number is BT2330307. Today I will be presenting part 1. Based on the frequency data, the goal is to know the customer distribute across different score range from 30 local companies. Begin with the customer satisfaction score. We can see from the table 70 until 70% is the lowest frequency, which is only 2 customers choose that, and most customers give the satisfaction rate at 85 until 89%, which is 9 customers. For customer retention, you can see the highest frequency is 70 until 74%, which is 8 customers, and the lowest is 60 until 64%, which is 2 customers only. For the cumulative relative frequency, which is satisfaction, as you can see on the table given, 60 until 69 is 0, while the retention is 7%. Cumulative relative frequency satisfaction reached 100% at 90 until 94% score, while retention reached 100% at 85 until 89 score. Now let's take a look on the relative frequency for satisfaction and retention on the table chart based on 30 local business. As you can see on the relative frequency table chart, it's not really consistent. It's getting higher but also lower at the end. Now we move to cumulative relative frequency table chart. As you can see, the chart increasing, not like the relative frequency, which is the score getting highest, and the highest score is 100%.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Rajan Nuriza Atira binti Rajanu Akma. My matrix number is PP23110122. In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve the question part 2, which is calculate and compare measure of central location between the two key metrics. As we can see here, there is a data about customer satisfaction and customer retention. For this part, you have to analyze the mean, median and mode for both metrics using the provided data. Here is the list out data from customer satisfaction, which is from 70 to 93. When you already list out the all data, next is you have to find the mean. The formula of mean is sum of all the data value and then divided with number of data value. Here I get 2527 from sum of all the data value. Then I get 30 for the number of data value. So total is 84.23%, and next is to find the median. First, you have to find the middle value first, which is the formula here is n plus 1 divided with 2. For n here is 30. So 30 plus with 1 and divided with 2, then you get 15.5 value. Here we should see the close value data, which is at 15 value we get 85, and at 16 value we get 85 too. To find the median, just plus these two value, which is 85 plus 85, we divided with 2, then you get 85%. For mode, you should see the highest frequency, which is the highest frequency number is 85 and 88 because it appears 3 times. So for mode customer satisfaction score is 85 and 88. Okay, next is data for customer retention. For this part, you have to do the same things. You have to analyze the mean, median and mode using the provided data. Here is the list out data from customer retention, which is from 60 to 88. When you already list out all the data, next is you have to find the mean. The formula of mean is still the same, which is you have to sum up all the data value and then divided with the number of data value. Here I get 2222 from sum of all the data value, then I get 30 from the number of the data value. So total is 74.07%, and next is to find the median. First, you have to find the median value first, which is the formula here is n plus 1 and then divided with 2. For n here is 30. So 30 plus with 1 and then divided with 2, then you get 15.5 value. Here, we should see the closed value data, which is at 50 value, we get 74, and at 60 value, we get 74 too. To find the median, just plus these two value, which is 74 plus 74, and then divided with 2, then you get 74.0%. For mode, you should see the highest frequency, which is the highest frequency number here is 68 and also 80 because it appears 3 times. So for mode customer satisfaction, score is 68 and 80.
Hello, my name is Nurmala Sairakin and my matrix number is BB233110171. Now we'll move on to part 3 of our analysis, which focus on percentiles and box plots for two key metrics, which is customer satisfaction and customer retention. To begin, we calculate the 25 percentile as Q1, 40 percentile as Q2, also known as the median, and the 75 percentile Q3 for each dataset. These quartiles help us understand how the data is distributed, especially how it spreads from the lower values to the upper values. For customer satisfaction, Q1 is 79.75, meaning 25% of the customers got below this value. The median is 85, which is the middle value of the data. Q3 is 89.25, so 75% of customers had satisfaction score below this point. For customer retention, Q1 is 68, the point where the bottom 25% of scores fall. The median is 74 and Q3 is 80, indicating 75 of customers were retained below that level. To visualize this, I create a box plot which you can see on the slide. This chart shows how the scores are spread. Satisfaction scores are more concentrated in the higher range between 80 and 90. In contrast, retention scores are more widely spread and show more variation. This tells us that while customer satisfaction is generally high and consistent, retention is more variable, indicating room for improvement in long-term customer engagement. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Titin Raisha binti Abraham, metric number BB2311048. I will discuss part 4, calculate and compare measure of dispersion between the two key metrics. As you see here are the different measure of dispersion that I'm going to discuss and use, which is the range, mean deviation, variance, and standard deviation. The range gives us the variation between the largest and the smallest value. So I take the largest value and subtract the small value. As you see in the picture, the lowest customer satisfaction score is 70% and the highest is 93%. So I subtract and I get 23%, while the lowest retention rate is 16% and the highest is 88 and I get the range is 28. This support that there more variation in retention compared to satisfaction. In addition to the range, I also going to work with the mean deviation. Here you see the formula. The mean deviation is simply the sum of absolute value of each value x minus the mean. Then you divide that by the number in the sample. To calculate this, first step is compute the mean, and of course you sum up all the value and divide by number, which is 146.54 divided by 30 company. So I get 84.23 for customer satisfaction, while for customer retention, 172.14 divided by 30 and I get 74.07. After that, I subtract the mean from each of the observation, convert to positive. If differences you get is negative, like in the absolute value column you get negative, so change it to positive. Last step is sum up the absolute differences that you get before then divide by the number of observation of samples. So for customer satisfaction mean deviation, I get is 4.88, while customer retention rate is 5.74. Another two of the most commonly used measures of dispersion are variance and standard deviation. The variance is square deviation of each value from the mean divided by the number in the population. For the population variance, I sum up the square of the differences between each value and mu. Mu is the population mean, so I taking the sum of the square differences between each value and in the mean divided by n. So for this question, first I need to know the mean, and I subtract each value from the mean, and as you can see, x minus u2, and then I sum up all and divided to 30 as the population. So for customer satisfaction score, I get 35.98%, and for customer retention rate, I get 48.96%. The standard deviation is more easy to find because once we have the variance, it is the square root of the variance. So in this formula, I use sigma. So I need square root, and inside that, I have formula for the variance. So for customer satisfaction score, I get is 5.99% of standard deviation and 6.99% for customer retention rate. So since the standard deviation for retention is greater, this tells us that retention scores are more spread out, or in other words, more variable.
I'm Siti Nurfaina binti Ibrahim, matrix number BB2330396, and I'll be presenting part 5, measure of association. In this section, we want to calculate and understand the relationship between two key metrics, which is customer satisfaction score and customer retention rates. Our goal was to find out whether there's a strong connection between how satisfied customers are and how likely they are to stay loyal to a business. To analyze, I used this formula to tell us both the strength and the direction of the relationship between two variables. The formula is covariance and correlation coefficients. There is two kinds covariance and correlation formula. The top one is for sample formula, meanwhile the bottom one is for population formula. But in our case, we use sample formula to analyze sample data for 30 companies. We started by calculating the sample covariance, which came out to be 39.81. As we can see from the picture, all satisfaction data minus mean satisfaction and all retention rate data minus mean retention equal to 1154.65 and divided with 29 since 30 minus 1 is 29 from the formula n minus 1. We got 39.81 for our sample variance. This positive value shows that when satisfaction increases, retention also tends to increase. Then, we need to find the standard deviation for both variables, which is satisfaction had a standard deviation value for 5.99 and retention is 6.99. Then, sample variance divided with the multiply of both standard deviation equals to 0.95. This value shows very strong positive correlation. For interpretation, calculated sample covariance resulted in a value of 39.81. This positive covariance indicates that as satisfaction increases, retention generally increases as well. Next, the standard deviation of satisfaction was 5.99 and for retention it was 6.99, reflecting the spread of data around their respective means. The value of sample correlation coefficient is equal to 0.95, shows a very strong positive linear relationship between customer satisfaction and customer retention. In simpler terms, when customer reports higher satisfaction, they are highly likely to remain loyal to the company. This insight is important for businesses because improving customer satisfaction can directly help increase loyalty and long-term success. That's all for me. Thank you.